Welcome home. We recently did a video about the dance of the timing when you have to buy a house and sell a house at the same time. And we had a bunch of different options for how to resolve that. And one of them was to do a temporary occupancy agreement. So today I wanted to touch on that in a little bit more detail for you. I'm not going to go into crazy detail because that would be overwhelming and probably a little boring, but I do want to give you an idea of what it looks like. So there are two types of temporary occupancy agreements. One is for the buyer to move in before they close on the house, and one is for the seller to remain in the house after they've sold it. So temporary agreement for the buyer prior to closing and temporary occupancy agreement for the seller after closing. Both of these have certain protections for the other party involved. Both of them require negotiation. Both of them require documentation, of course, and signatures, right? So a couple of the things that are in there as protections for the other party are the time limit. So there's always a time limit as far as this person's allowed to be in the house when they're not the rightful owner of it from this time to this time. And there's an expiration date on that. Another piece is compensation. You can either choose, if it's a super competitive market, to offer this for free to the other party as a negotiation tool, or you can call Stephanie or call your lender and find out a daily mortgage rate and you can charge something. So if you're the buyer moving in prior to closing, you might pay an extra daily mortgage rate for the number of days that you're in the home before you close, or same thing for the seller after closing. You could pay for, if it's a week or whatever, after the closing, pay that compensation. There are protections in place as to what happens if there's damage to the home or if something breaks. There's requirements as to carrying insurance. There's who pays the utilities. They thought of everything. So all these protections are in place in those documents, and it is always a negotiation. So make sure that you communicate really clearly with your realtor and with the other party and come to terms. It's never going to look the same for two transactions, but it is potentially a good option to figure out that dance between buying and selling at the same time. So I hope this helps. If you have done this before, I would love to read about your stories in the comments and let us know how it looked for you. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to Stephanie or to me. And of course, as always, we would really appreciate if you would like the video and share it with somebody that could use this information. Have a good one.